Hello, and welcome to this tutorial on using the write an equation strategy to solve problems. You'll recall from our previous modules that Poya's problem-solving process, the process we're using to solve every problem in this course, involves 4 steps: understanding, strategizing, solving, and looking back. We just discussed in our previous module the strategy of writing an equation to solve problems, and we looked at some of the math that's required to implement that strategy. Now we'll apply the strategy to a practice problem. The problem that we'll be examining today should be very familiar to you. If you've been reading about the credit crisis in the past 5 years, you'll know that there's a huge problem many consumers faced. That is, having a home that's underwater. When a home is underwater, the value of the loan on the home, that is, the amount the consumer owns on the home, is greater than the actual market value of the home. This means that if the consumer were to sell his home to somebody else, he would still owe the bank more money that he got back in the sale. Our friend Robert in this problem is in this situation. He has a home that has an outstanding loan of $500,000, but the home is only worth $400,000. So there's a difference of $100,000 between what the home is worth and the amount of the loan. Each month, Robert pays $2,000 against the loan, and each year the value of the home increases by $12,000. So is this a good or a bad thing for Robert? If we think about it for a moment, we can see that this is a good thing. Robert is successfully paying down the loan, so the value of the loan is decreasing, while the value of the home is increasing or appreciating. This means eventually the two are going to meet in the middle. When the value of the home is equal to the size of the outstanding loans, Robert wants to put the home on sale. He doesn't want this home anymore, but he also doesn't want to owe more money after he sells the house. So in how many months will Robert need to sell the home? Let's apply our problem-solving framework and break this down. You can see on this slide that the problem is written up above. So we're going to mine this problem statement to understand the problem. A good place to start is in our last sentence, because that usually tells us what we're looking for when we're addressing a word problem like this. So our question is, in how many months will Robert sell his home? We know that in the previous sentence, we can see that Robert will sell the home when the value is equal to the value of the loan. So our objective here is to determine when the home value is equal to the loan value in terms of months from now. Always make sure you know the units that you're asking to answer. So let's look at the information that we're given. What do we know? Remember that we want to set the value of the home equal to the value of the loan. So let's see if we have all the information we need to write these things down. First, do we know the home value? Well, we can see from our problem statement that the home is currently worth $400,000. We can also see that the value of the home is increasing by $12,000 every single year. So the value of the home as a function of time is given to us. We also know that the loan is $500,000 and that Robert is paying down the loan at a rate of $2,000 per month. So we also have the value of the loan as a function of time. Notice that the units of these two values are not the same. We know how the value of the home increases in terms of years, and we know how the value of the loan increases as a function of the number of months. So we need to relate the two. So we also want to write down for ourselves that we can relate these two. We know that there are 12 months in 1 year, or in algebraic terms, y is equal to 12m. 1 year is equal to 12 months. Now we strategize. We're solving for an unknown. That is an amount of time. We want to know how many months it's going to take Robert to have his home value and his loan value be the same. Whenever we think of solving an unknown, our first strategy thought should be writing an equation. Recall that in order to solve correctly by writing an equation, we need to know what our unknowns are, and we need to relate that to known information. We also need to have one equation for every unknown, and the equations cannot be equivalent. In this case, we have one unknown, the number of months that we'll need in order for the value of the home and the value of the loan to be the same. And we have one equation to solve for that one unknown, or we will when we write that equation, but we only need to write one. So our strategy here